Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this evening or this morning. Um, Great show for you on tap today. And I thank you all, as always, for listening, joining. I appreciate it. Very, very cool topic that we are discussing, which is dimensions. But really, so this is such a large and extremely broad topic that covers a vast array of information. You could literally write books on this topic. There's so much to cover, so much to go over. So obviously, we don't have that kind of time, but what we are going to cover today is we're going to go over each dimension and really focus on the levels of consciousness with a level of understanding of what or who operate in this dimension. So that's going to be our primary focus, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. You get something from it, and I'm kind of curious to see what they channel through us today, because this message is so broad. I'm curious to see where they come in at. So let's just get right into it. The first dimension, dimension one, is basically the water, your genetic code, and the human body. Um, are all residing in the first dimension. So you got did minerals, so your crystals, stuff like that in the mountains, um, dirt. That's all first dimensional consciousness. Second level dimensional consciousness is the planet kingdom. So all your trees, flowers, plants, that kind of stuff. Also, you have some animal life that reside in this conscious level, which rodents, take for instance, that's a good one. Um, Beings that are only pretty much aware of the need to feed or fight or even procreate. Um, they are the species, conscious level species, that basically reside in the second dimension. And also the level of automatic nervous system within your body, the automatic nervous system that keeps you breathing, that is a conscious level, a second dimensional conscious level function that happens here. The third dimension is the physical aspect of us, so our bodies are aspects of the third dimensional conscious level, but also the thought of an individual that keeps you separate. The thought that you are not connected to everyone else. The thought there um, is a thought that resides heavily in the third dimension. If you think you're separate, if you think that you are not one with all these people that we interact with on a daily level, um, that's a third dimensional thought process. And obviously, fear, depression, anxiety, these low vibrational thoughts are all levels of this conscious level. They are not only are these thought patterns and belief systems not only do they operate in the third dimensional, but they are extremely um, how would you say, felt. You can feel them greatly if you continue to operate on a conscious level that is of the third dimension. And I can tell you right now that it's being said that Mother Earth, Gaia, this planet, is operating now on a fifth dimensional level. So if you're still operating in that level of fear and disconnectedness from everyone, um, which hopefully a lot of the audience here that listens to this isn't really manifesting much in the third level. Hopefully you guys aren't staying there, and you're beginning to elevate your conscious level past the third and moving up, because not even Mother Earth is really residing in that. But I'll tell you right now, there are a lot of us that are operating in this dimension, in this dimensional consciousness. And that's a key concept here, because obviously our bodies operate in the third dimension, and that will be, but on a conscious level is much different. So definitely stuff to be mindful of. The fourth dimension is the astral plane. So this is the etheric body that we all possess. This is where energy within the body is beginning to be known and understood, and your the body possesses this, the etheric body possesses this advanced, like, dreaming, imagination, psychic ability, intuition, creativity. That level of consciousness is all coming forward when you are operating and aware of the fourth dimensional astral plane. And so the astral plane is a level of consciousness that when you astral project, this is the dimension that you are moving through. So, and that's an aspect of this, again, that is so broad that we really could cover so much with these. Each of these dimensions are frequencies. So when you think of a frequency, you can think of it as almost like, if you look at it as a path or a road. Okay, you can travel on in these frequencies, like a road. You just have to begin to raise your vibration high enough to reach that level. So let's just take, for instance, let's use the Autobahn. The Autobahn is a road. You're not going to take a vehicle on the Autobahn when people are driving at 100 miles an hour. You're not going to take a vehicle that doesn't go over 30 onto the Autobahn, because you can't. It's a dangerous thing to do. So, and maybe that's not a good analogy. Maybe it is. I don't know. But the concept here is that you must reach a certain frequency or speed in order um, to in conscious level to get to these dimensions. You can't just say you want it and then boom, it happens. I can't just say I'm going to go to the Autobahn. I need to practice. I need to work. I need to acquire the conscious level vibration that is needed to actually get to that location or road. Frequency is really, it's not a location, it's a frequency. And you get there by raising your frequency through love, service, and meditation, being mindful, and then practicing. So in the fourth dimension, we begin to become aware of the universal laws, but in the fifth dimension, we actually really begin to implement them. We begin to use them and understand that there is no separation. We are all one. You are connected to everyone and everything in this planet. There is no separation. We are all, one with God. We live in an unconditional loving state. There are no judgments. There's no guilt or negativity towards to like lower vibrational people or items or whatever in this planet, in this fifth dimensional consciousness. You are free to create new ways of thinking, of being, doing, and it's all in this fifth dimension that you again understand the concept and the laws, the universal laws of energy, and primarily the universal law of oneness. And that's a crucial aspect of the conscious level of the fifth dimension. So no separation and no judgments. Huge aspects of the fifth dimension. So begin to operate from an understanding that we are one and you love all without judgment, because we understand that obviously we've discussed so many times, there are reasons we experience what we experience, and they're meant to teach us lessons. They are not meant to hurt. But if you cannot overcome the hurt, then you're stuck. You're stuck in a lower dimensional conscious level. And I will tell you this when I say stuck, because we live in a physical 3D third dimensional body, right? So there it is possible to come in and out of each dimension as you are operating. But what is so important to understand is which one are you operating more more than others. So like if I'm stuck in this state of fear, in this state of we are separated, we're not one, well then I'm stuck in this third dimensional mindset. And if I can't get out of that body, that mindset, it's going to be tough for me to operate too much in this fifth or fourth dimension, because I might be aware of the conscious level that's required to be in the fifth dimension, but if I'm not consistently trying to get to that level of thinking, well, then you might be aware of it, but you're going to struggle to stay there. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to the point where we can focus our minds so much and be more aware that we stay in that mindset. So yes, I can come out of it and express some anger on rare occasions, but that's not primarily how we want to act. So definitely stuff to watch for. Where are you consistently operating from? Is it a third dimensional sense of fear? Now, with that being said, there are aspects of fear and anger and sadness that are possible in these higher dimensions, like fourth and fifth dimension, but it's it's not something that's completely focused on. It's not primarily where you live, in your conscious mind. It's just something that happens on occasion, and that's okay. Everything's okay. So there obviously there are no judgments here. Now, also something that I want to cover is your soul has connections to each one of these dimensions. So your physical body has a portion of a soul that is connected to all these realms, to all these dimensions. And I believe we've covered that before. But when you pass, it is so the third dimensional soul leaves that physical body and then operates in your connections to the fourth and fifth dimension are now coming into play and are used to help us. So when we are dealing with spirit that has crossed over, typically we are dealing with spirit in the fourth and fifth dimension. It is that aspect of the spirit that we typically deal with on with mediumship. And then there are mediums like what the heck is her Long Island medium. She can get aspects of the third dimensional spirit, even though it's crossed over. She can tap into that third dimensional aspect of the soul, even though the physical body is gone. She can tap into that. Now that's pretty cool. Me on the other hand, I tap into the higher dimensions of the soul. And the dimensions of the soul that I tap into are meant to help and educate, but not necessarily here to tell you what the human soul was like while they resided on this plane. Neither one is right or wrong. It's just what the information that we tap into, the level of soul and consciousness that we are um, residing in and acquiring. So on the sixth dimension, and I'm covering 12. On the sixth dimension, you are more aware of the crystal consciousness. So there's this DNA called the crystalline DNA, and it can be activated. So it's said that the human body actually possesses, or human body, the astral body, the has 12 strands of DNA. Now, scientists are only aware of two, but it is said that we have 12, and you can actually begin to activate these strands of DNA. And it's something that I recommend because it is tapping into well, as we're saying here, another aspect of your soul in the sixth dimension. And the whole part of the ascension process is tapping into these levels of the soul. So this is an extremely important aspect of the sixth dimension, this crystalline DNA and this crystalline consciousness. And you have, when you're in this conscious level and tapping into the sixth dimension, you're obviously aware of the spiritual aspects of life and its um, its influence over us. Life is seen as a blessing and magical, and all life is directed and advanced through the work of spirit. So, take for instance me. I do not make a decision without going to spirit, to God, and asking for help and guidance. Hey, is this a path that I should be going on? Now, obviously, I stay in the moment, and it is through these moments that I ask for what I'm looking for, and then it's being in the moment that the answers are given to me. So the person that operates in the sixth dimension, that you surrender to the flow of spirit evolution, and it's very interesting because what was it, last podcast I think we had, they gave me the image of a lazy river, and it was in that lazy river that they were saying you just go with the flow. Well, a person that operates in the sixth dimension is doing just that. You surrender to the flow of energy and to the flow of your divine being. So really cool dimension. Well, they all are. And in this dimension you want to be a creator, um, to help others. It holds the DNA templates like I was talking about for the DNA, crystalline DNA, and that activation. And in the sixth dimension, it's mostly color and tone that are the um, the operations within this dimension are primarily color and tone. Seven. So seven is this one. Now there are beings that operate in all of these dimensions. And each dimension, I am told through channeling, has a master. And I tell you that only because in the seventh dimension, you really begin to accept your soul's purpose and true understanding as a carer of dimensions and a teacher and healer on a much larger scale. So this is where we can tap into a deeper understanding that we are all one and begin to use that as a level to influence change around the world through mere thought. And this is the level at which a lot of this happens. It's an extremely powerful dimension if you can get your conscious level to this point. This is a dimension that I do a lot of light work in this dimension, and light workers are huge here because they are constantly doing work in this dimension to help, like I said, influence change around the world, change for the good, change for love. Now, in this seventh dimension are also a level of Akashic records for the individual person and soul. There are levels to the Akashic records, but the level that you would need to tap into to reach an individual person's Akashic records would be in this dimension. Now, also in this level, the energy that you carry with you is one that is carried not only for you, but can begin to be used by others. And what happens here, we've channeled before, where they have said that it is, now I've channeled for people who have, and Spirit has come through, Ascendant Masters, God, have come through and have indicated that they use the energy of one person that is of high vibration to directly impact and influence the soul of another. So if they're who is in a low vibrational state. So take for instance, you have a couple. One is extremely positive, happy, is of a wants to be of service to people, and the other is low vibrational, negative, stuck in like a third or fourth dimensional state of mind where he's fearful and not happy, doesn't necessarily think of other people, is definitely thinking that he is an individual and no one is connected. When you are operating in the seventh dimension, they they begin to take the energy of the positive one and help influence the soul and body alignment of the lower vibrational individual. So that's an extremely powerful place to be if you can be of a higher state and they are using your energy directly to to help another soul and individual rise in its conscious level and understanding. And I channel this particular message a lot, actually, where I do run into couples that are of different conscious levels and they are using these energies to help each other. So when you are stuck in this low vibrational state, and they've said before, they learn spirit only learn from us if we are vibrating at a higher level. So when we're stuck in this low vibrational state, it's not only affecting yourself, but it's also not allowing other spirit to use your energy as a means of teaching and helping another spirit that is in need. So definitely stuff to be aware of. The eighth and ninth dimensions, they are very close in frequency and conscious level of understanding. So in eight, you begin to um, become an archetype of sorts. You understand that you can control the story of your life on earth. So you no longer operate with you now, I'm sorry, not you now operate as on a group level goals. So it's no longer my goal, it is actually our goal to help. And this is a level of consciousness that is they're all beautiful. But when you're operating here, the I is no longer a thing for you. You are we. And when I channel, that's how they typically communicate through me. It's always we. Even God comes through. He'll occasionally refer to himself as I, but it's usually we. And you hear that all the time. And when you get to this eighth level of dimensional consciousness, you are absolutely operating with a higher purpose and understanding that it is no longer necessarily you, because you've already surrendered yourself to the flow of energy. And now it is, okay, what as a collective do we need to do here on this planetary realm to help rise? So it's awesome. I mean, just it's so cool to think about. But again, it's such a broad topic that it's so difficult to cover too much here. The ninth dimension is, like I said, the eighth and ninth are so close. And what I'm told frequently is that ascendant masters operate on a ninth dimensional level. Or at least that's where I tap into them from, and at that level. Um, so, but to actually tell you, like, hey, where they reside, I mean, can I? Like, can we? I can just tell you what I'm told, and they tell me that I'm tapping into them on the ninth dimension. So, you in this dimension again ties into the archetype of the eighth dimension, and you now you have like full responsibility for this planet. You understand that it is your thoughts that are now co-creating with ascendant masters, archangels, and all of those light beings that are here to assist us. And there are multidimensional beings that are here that are attempting to help in some way. Some are here to observe, some are here to help, some are here to protect and help rise, that is. So, and each of them operate in different levels. And then some are, here not to necessarily help us at all and actually kind of bring us down. But they can't bring you down unless you let them. If you're not holding on to that energy and you're letting it go, well, then they can't really do much to you. So, but we do have beings that are here that are 100% protecting us and with us, and I've had interactions with them. I've seen them, and their guidance is extremely helpful and supportive, and they operate, some of them, on extremely high dimensions. And then there are others that operate from a lower dimensional realm but are still extremely loving and very helpful. 10th dimension. Okay, now in the 10th dimension, light is a big aspect of the 10th dimension, and this is where the 7 rays of light come in. So the light comes in, or is created in this 10th dimension, or I'm sorry, not created. It is differentiated, I should say, into these 7 rays, but then within the 10th dimension, it is dispersed out to the lower level dimensions. And the aspects of light can be used in all these dimensions to help us rise. So definitely something to be mindful of, that when we are working with light, they are an aspect of the 10th dimension that is being filtered down through each of the others. And the 10th dimension is where it is actually differentiated into these 7 rays of light. On 11, excuse me, this throat thing again, but you guys know that's them coming through. 11, the 11th dimension, on a galactic level of consciousness. So galactic meaning the galaxy, is you are now understanding things on a much, much larger level, not just tied to this planet. And Archangel Metatron is a figure of the 11th dimension and this consciousness. It's this now is where archangels and higher levels of the Akashic records for the source system are stored in the 11th dimension. Preformed light. So in the 10th dimension, you had the differentiated light, but in 11, you actually have the preform of light before it's differentiated. So I guess in a sense of creation, or formed, I should say, not even creation. It's all energy, so it's formed but changed is a good way of putting that. The light is changed into the colors. It's formed in the 11th, and then changed or differentiated in the 10th, and then filtered down from there. But this is archangel level here, and ascendant masters, like I said, in the 9th dimension, but carry that, obviously, that divine oneness consciousness and complete operation of like a global goal. It's not just one individual or spirit with the goals. And then last but not least is the 12th dimension, and this is enlightenment. This is where you are in complete alignment with light, love, God, and let me see. I mean, this would be Jesus level right here. This is where you've completed, not even completed. You've completed enlightenment, but your job is not done, because we still have to be of service to everybody else. So you reach a level of understanding of consciousness, but the service is not done, because there are still others that we need to help. But the 12th dimension is, that is the heaven consciousness, if you will, if I can use that term. But no, they're telling me no, I cannot use that term, because heaven is a vibration. Okay. Anyway, But yeah, 12th is the last dimension, and that's where you're going to fulfill enlightenment, but then return to help and assist others. Now, I will tell you this: as souls pass from this dimensional realm, they are always, always, always of service to others. So the service never ends. The learning never ends. The service never ends. The assistance never ends. So even when you pass, you're coming back. You're helping souls that remain on this dimension in this life, and even helping other souls that are in other realms, because there are aspects of your own soul that if you can attain a certain level. Now, I don't know what level that is, but if you can attain a certain level of consciousness in a lifetime and learn all your lessons, you balance all of your karmic imbalances, you actually get to the level of becoming your own guide, and then you no longer have to be reborn here to this plane. You become now a guide to help another soul, and then from there you grow on a soul's level, still trying to tap in to all these other dimensional realms, these other dimensional levels of consciousness. It's all playing a factor. So definitely things to be aware of and hopefully try to strive for, because we all want to be more loving. We all want to be more forgiving. We all want to be without fear and without the thoughts of this third dimensional realm. We want to try to achieve a certain level of consciousness, of love, a higher understanding of what we are all here for and what we're all doing and how to be of service to so many others. So I can't believe that it's only been about 30 minutes so far. We actually have gotten past that pretty quickly. But like I said, it is such a broad topic. We could literally talk about it all day long and still not even touch all the aspects of it. We really just grazed the top level of this topic. But going back on all of our topics, we've only just scratched the surface of all of them, because we obviously are limited in time. So just go out there and be the best version of you can, and try to live the best, most productive life that you can by achieving these higher levels of understanding and consciousness through an understanding that we're not alone, that there are others here who are trying to help us rise. And we can't be in this judgmental, fear-based state it's just not a state of mind that we want to continue to be in. We have to rise above, and the energy of this earth is pretty is rising. And as I said in the beginning, we're now this realm, this planet Earth, is operating on a fifth dimensional level. So that in and of itself is vibration that is around you in your area that affects us. And when you're not aware of that energy and how it affects us, it can drive you to do some crazy things, because you're just simply not aware enough to understand what is actually happening. But when you begin to want to tap into this energy and understand that it is affecting you in some way, and then it is your choice to choose how you respond to that energy, and that's where the power lies, in that response. So I encourage you to respond in a positive way and with a deeper level of understanding that you are one with everybody around us. So, hey, completely change the topic just to give you guys a heads up. I did quit my job. I am now on my own. So, starting this mindfulness meditation practice, I just developed a website called mindfulnessactivation.com. So, if you have a company that is looking to incorporate a meditation/mindfulness practice into their wellness program, that is what I'm trying to build for companies and school districts as well, and individuals. So if you want to learn how to do this and start to get into these dimensional realms through your own mind, start tapping into these next levels, reach out to me. Let's start working together. Let's build something here. because it is such an important aspect of who you are, but then such an important aspect of the collective. And as these dimensional realms have indicated, the level of consciousness, we are operating as a collective. So the more that we can do to help not only ourselves, but you need to help yourself and then help others, it's so vitally important and helps tremendously. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to bring to these companies, is a better awareness and the better understanding of mental health and how important it is for us as individuals, because the energy that we are feeling in this fifth dimensional earth now, that is vibrating in this fifth dimension, it really is affecting us, and people don't know how to deal with it because they're not aware enough. They're not like, as a society, we are not educating each other enough to the level at which this energy can affect you. So a lot of us, because Earth is operating in a fifth dimension, we're shedding layers on a soul level that we don't even know. And when we're shedding levels, the only way that we shed them is for them to come up and for us to experience them. So if you're experiencing it and you don't know how to handle it and you don't know what to do, it's through these techniques that I'm trying to bring to people that will help you lessen the effect that it has over you, because it's okay to feel it, and you're never going to stop feeling it. You're always going to feel it, but it is our response to it that is so vitally important, and it is the response to it that so many people are not really understanding and really just allowing the emotion of the moment take them into a negative situation or a negative interaction, either with themselves or with other people. And you see it around the world. So we really have to begin to heal ourselves and begin to understand the level at which this energy is operating around us and how it's affecting us, and then choosing how to be mindful and then reacting to this to really help not only ourselves but of the people around us. So, okay, thank you so much for allowing me to go off there for a second. I know, and with that, I will take a moment. I'll pause and clear my mind, and then allow whoever to come through, mostly Enoch, I would assume, as he has been our good friend so far, and definitely the guidance behind this podcast. So, but yeah, if you know any companies out there, before I do this, please send them to my website, or mindfulnessactivation.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all mindfulness activation. So please help me out if you would not mind. I would greatly appreciate it. And yes, thank you so much. As always, I love you all. So let me take a moment and pause here for a moment, and clear my mind, and allow them to come forth. Enoch speaking, my children. Grateful we are for the opportunity to commence in communication with you now. A beautiful topic and understanding that has been brought forth in this podcast, and we are grateful for the lessons and understanding and study that Christopher has engaged upon to bring this information forth to you. We are eagerly awaiting his response to this knowledge that he has been given today and has been brought forth to you. For we are working with you all at this time. Archangel Metatron is an archangel that is directly responsible for the hiring of frequency of this planetary realm and its individuals. And there are many in his team that are assisting in this raising of vibration. But it is through the direct response, as he has stated, Christopher has stated, that your vibration can begin to rise. The thoughts in your mind, we understand, cannot be controlled in how they come in, but can be controlled in how they are kept and maintained and thus responded to. This is very crucial to the vibrational level rising within your body, physical, human. It is an understanding that your vibrational alignment is a direct result of these thoughts that you hold on to and thus act in accordingly with. And when it is of love, it will rise naturally. Be mindful, be aware, and we are grateful for the opportunity to communicate through Christopher during this podcast, which we have. His presence at this podcast and information brought to you is one of divine guidance, and we are eagerly awaiting all of your response to the energetic shifts that are transpiring on this planetary realm, for they are great, and it is accurate in that they are affecting humans in many different ways. But it is the gravitational pull of the light that is assisting all souls in their rising. And yes, your choice to rise with it is crucial to the growth of your own soul and important to the aspects of others around you who are not necessarily growing but attempting to. It is through your alignment that we can use, as stated earlier, the energy to leverage and use to help another soul who is struggling with the alignment and the human body. The etheric body is one of beauty, and this is an aspect of the human body that can also be used. For when it is tapped into, there are aspects of the soul that are coming through communicationally through this etheric body, this mantra body, if you will. It is through vibration, thought, action that this etheric body holds much light, but it is through the direct filling of it, either with lower vibration or higher vibration, that affects us greatly. When you fill it with light, it will be brought back to you, and the connections of your soul to other dimensions will begin to manifest themselves naturally. But if this body is continuously filled with low vibrational energy, this can affect its growth and connection to other souls, and thus the suffering in a mediumship development aspect can be one of great consequence. For this etheric body is what is used to connect to these other realms. And when it is in a low vibrational state, based on the energetic vibration of your own physical body, it dulls the connection, strength to higher dimensional self-soul. Important to understand, my children. There is much to the human body and souls that are not completely known yet to all living beings here on this plane. But it is information that is coming forth, being filtered generously, lightly, so that it may be comprehended more easily, filtered down in small aspects, releasing of information. For as planet Earth, Mother Earth, rises in vibration, more information will be filtered through. But filtered through in a sense of peace and love, so that is to not affect the human body too greatly. It will affect the body and its emotions, feelings. However, it will be filtered through in just enough as to not expunge it, so as to allow for the frequency to be absorbed naturally rather than instantaneously, which is too much for a physical body to attain all at one level. We encourage a deeper understanding of what is being said at this time. There is information being filtered, siphoned through the energetic vibration of all that are rising, that is coming forth to the collective of this planetary realm, that is assisting in the rising of all vibration. But it is being done in a peaceful and gentle way so as to not to disrupt the human body on too large of a scale. Hear me once again. The information that is coming forth is being brought forth in a way, in a manner in which not to disrupt the human body in too large a form. And we thank you for the understanding. Allow for this information to flow freely and accept the information as it comes. Be one with your own soul and allow for the healing process to begin and complete. Balance your karmic energy, for this is such a large aspect of the soul's process and learning. For when it is not balanced, it will continue to experience the levels of lower vibrational energy that it must balance. And this is something that we would perceive all humans would want to be without. Balance your karma, accept the energy as it is, and hold no judgments to it. Thank you, my children. Go in peace. We love you greatly, and we are here. Call upon us as needed, for our love is great for you, and our service to you is never ending. Use us as you may, for we are of love and peace, and are always here for you. Thank you, Enoch speaking. Thank you, Enoch. I appreciate that. Man, that was, wow. There's some serious information what was just coming forth there. So take some time to process that. I know I need to. Holy moly. Sometimes they shock the stuff out of me. Anyway, go in peace, guys. I love you all so much and always appreciate you very much. Seriously, you have all inspired me so much. All of your support and your love. I really appreciate it. All of you. Teresa, you continuously come to my mind. Jackie, all of you. Thank you. Everyone that reaches out to me on a regular basis just to tell me about your dreams or your thoughts or your questions. Like, these are things that I appreciate because I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Try to be the best version of you can. Rise in your vibration. Release judgment. Be of love, and all will be good, my friends. Take care. Love you.